Hey everyone, Sean and Diana back again. That's so corny. We are back for another version of the SellOut Show. Today is the raw and uncut version you're watching.
It's all about get back to the basics with
guest Jon Ferrara, creator, founder, CEO, president, head helmsman of Nimble, the CRM, simple CRM. That you really hit that, the simple CRM. So today, Jon Ferrara is our guest, and you know, he's talking about getting back to basics. And I really think it's interesting about Jon is he brings his passion for life and business and selling and serving all into his one person package and how he talks about Nimble and business. And it's fantastic.
Yeah, and watch the very first of it because you get a little story about Mick Jagger at the beginning. So don't miss this one. Here we go.
Here we go.
When I was 40, and I bumped into this little old man. And I look down at the guy and I go, "You're a fucking Mick Jagger." Well, I didn't say that, right? I thought it, right? And he's little and he's old and he's shriveled. And I thought to myself, why does this guy get up on stage 100 times a year at this age, right? He fucking loves it, right? He feeds off of powering the people in the audience. It's a dance, right? And so I think we all do that, right? You guys dig to teach, and you also dig to sell. It's an interaction. It's a dance, right? Yeah. All right, let's go.
Love it.
Well, I got all that on recording, so woohoo.
Good.
That's a good story. So I'll start us out by saying welcome everyone to the SellOut Show, where we are always sold out. I am Diana Guerin. I am the Irreverent Sales Girl, where my mission is to bring a dash of dignity to the art of selling.
Hey, Diana, and special guest, Jon. I'm Sean Carroll Sandy, everyone. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of the Selling Agency, where we coach humans how to sell to other humans, because selling like a basic biatch is actually not very basic, and you are not going to get bought.
That's right. Which takes us to our topic today. We are so honored to have Jon Ferrara, who is the current CEO of Nimble, but really is known intergalactically for beginning the whole world of CRM, the workable ones. So it's really, really exciting to have you be a part of our show today, Jon. And we're gonna talk about getting back to the basics of selling, and then at the end, I would really love to have a little update on, you know, what's going on with Nimble, because there's some exciting stuff. So welcome to the show, Jon.
Well, Diana and Sean, I'm so excited to be here with you both today because I have a simple philosophy about life. We're on this planet to grow our souls by helping other people grow theirs, and you do that by being present, like all three of us are today, by sharing our passion, plan, and purpose in life. And if you listen carefully when people are sharing, you will learn whatever you need to add some value to that person, even if it's simply a smile. And so when you are going through your day to day, put your effing phones down and be present with the person in front of you, even if it's the person checking you out in the grocery store, and connect with them for a moment and share a little something to brighten their day, because that's why you're on this planet.
Yeah, notice their shoes.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
When I roll into our sales topic, but you know what? My part of my philosophy, I buy into that so much, Jon. I believe that is that, especially like when it comes to training and stuff, I'm not teaching people sales principles or techniques. This is all life stuff. These are all life skills. We need to be better at life to be better salespeople. And what you said speaks so much to how my husband and I are raising our kids. It's to be present and to give your gifts fully to the people around you. And when you do that, oh my God, you get so much in return. I cannot tell you how many people say wonderful things about my children and my husband, especially my children, by interacting with them. Simply, you know, like standing in the grocery line, and my son interacts with someone and says, "Hey, I like your shoes. Are you having a good day?" Like, he's, 8, 9. He's done this forever, but he gives fully. He's in the present moment with them, and that just means so much to people. And that's selling too. I think that's.
And if you think about it, this applies directly to selling, because if you're present with another human being if you've done your homework, you know a little bit about them and their business, and you ask a decent question and you shut up and you listen, they're going to love you, because people love to talk and they love for people to hear them. And so the basics of business is really simple. We learned about how to do this from our moms, from our grandmoms, from the abuse we took in middle school and high school when we were jerks, and people taught us how to be better human beings. Yeah. And so our topic today is the basics of selling and business and life.
Yeah, and one of the things that that just brought to mind, Jon, is I've been in a number of different sales roles, and I find that when I'm in a sales role where I've got a sales manager kind of writing me about how many deals are we going to close this month, and then, you know, having me debrief every sales call and what happened and what's the next step and what'd you get on the calendar, what that does is it has something running in the back of your head that's all about you and all about your concerns and all about what you're going to tell your sales manager. And I will tell you, I think that's detrimental to the sale, because you can't, the other person over there, you can sniff it out if somebody's got themselves in mind or their own interests in mind. And I know that's not something that we talk about a lot with the basics, but just quieting that talk track and getting over in somebody else's world and working with them to figure out what it is that they'd like to solve that would level them up. That's a miracle. And that's what I think the best salespeople can do, is just not really give a rip about what the sales manager is going to say, because the business will take care of itself when you start listening.
Yes. And I think the most basic of selling is service, because I believe sales is a service. Service is the new sales. Your job is to serve that person, even if it means telling them to buy some other product. Because if you effectively listen to somebody and figure out a way to add value, you're going to stand out from everybody else. And when they need your products or services, or their friends do in the future, they'll not only pick up the phone and call you, but they'll drag their friends with them. And so I think that we went through a cycle of selling where sales became a 4-letter word. And if you think about it, go back 100 years, we all lived in a small village. And in that small village, your brand was built on the promises you make and the experiences that you deliver, and you didn't advertise. It was all basically your brand that you built based off the services that you provided. Mass manufacturing dragged us all to the city, where jobs were to build all these brushes and other products, and then you had to build fuller brush salespeople to go door to door to sell all that stuff, because there wasn't enough stores to buy it. And then you had to have mass marketing to drive people to the stores, where Slick Willie salespeople would bag them and tag them. And that's how we got to the Oracle hunter-killer sort of sales process. But I think social media is increasing the transparency of the way that we work, play, buy, and sell. And it's transformed us all back to that small village.
Oh my gosh. I just took notes. Like, I smell a blog post there, Selling to the Village. Have you done one on that yet? Because I'm going to do one.
Well, I'm going to push back on you. I mean, I wish that were true, but I don't see that in reality. I think that a lot of, I think there are many aspirational organizations such as your own, Jon, which we'll get into the whole pitch about Nimble, but I've used Nimble, and the whole thinking behind it is, how can I make your business work better, and how can I understand your business better? And I've always experienced you as giving before taking. So, but I'm going to push back. There's still, you know, when you've got sales development reps that are, you know, it's 100 activities a day, burn them out, you know, like 18 touches on the cadence that are really stupid emails. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, you know, expressing your brand over and over. Like, I really want to get a hold of you because I need to get your attention because this is really actually good for you. I think your prospects are counting on you to find them, but I'm all for declaring the future of the death of it, but I think it's still
I 100% agree with you that I believe that if you think about how I invented CRM and contact management back before either existed, basically there was no Outlook or Salesforce or term CRM, and I invented something that was Outlook and Salesforce combined before either existed. I did it because I had my own needs of a team relationship manager with simple sales and marketing, but the market didn't even know they needed it. So I think I might see things as they are as the wave's building, just like I sort of saw social as its application to business and built social CRM and social selling almost God shit 8 years ago. But I think that there's pockets of this happening, right? You listen to Brian Kramer, right? H to H selling, and there's pockets of it. So I believe that we're on the forefront of it today.
What do you think, Jon? I mean, with your coaching of your sellers, what are you seeing the companies want you to do that you're unwilling to do, but that you actually make them better?
Well, I think it goes back to the life skills thing. If you're showing up and trying to be anyone other than who you are and transparent in that, I cringe when people talk about sales technique. I don't want to be a technique. I don't want to be manipulated.
Right.
Once you learn a technique and a technique works, everyone else knows about the technique and then it doesn't work. It's about skill, not technique. So I think that sellers, and now listen, this is a conversation we have a lot. Like, so much of the visible talk out there from sales experts are people in the SaaS space. And I'm dying to know what the statistic about all the other business, like that's not in the SaaS space. My clients are not. I live in Memphis, and so regionally, this is an industrial manufacturing, ag, biosciences, healthcare market. Not a hotbed of SaaS necessarily, and everyone else is really struggling with social selling and all the confusing stuff out there about selling technique and closing techniques, all that kind of stuff. It's just really confusing for salespeople out there. I think you do have SaaS people who are still really confused about, do I show up? Do I try to, do I try to trick people into responding, or, what email is going to convert the most because I've got a crazy antic in it and stuff like that. So I do agree that we've got to go back to this. That's why I grabbed on that concept of selling to the village. Like, think of your reputation and the promise and deliverables, showing up as you, not as somebody else, not trying to manipulate people. I think it's a lot of crazy crap going on out there, and maybe people will weed through it as we go through this next 5 years of change, but it's really confusing for salespeople out there.
Well, I think that John Wooden said it best. It's the basics that wins games. Yes. And there's basics of selling. And one of the things I used to teach every rep that I trained was, you need to prepare before you go into a meeting. You need to know a little bit about something, the person you're meeting with, and possibly their team and their business, and have some value that you could provide immediately. But don't stop there. When you go in somebody's office, look at their walls, look at the books they read, the degree of the school they went to, the knickknacks they collect. All these things will give you a clue in who that person is and what their business is about, and what areas of commonality that you might have, so you can share those commonalities, so you can earn some basic intimacy and trust, so that they'll open up to you about their business issues, which as a professional you can then solve. I think that people forget about that, right? And so if you think about the word social selling, I think social selling is going to go away. In fact, in my mind, it already has, because social selling isn't new. Zig Ziglar, Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill, Brian Tracy, Stephen Covey, they all taught the same things, right? People buy from people they like, know, and trust. And once you've earned somebody's intimacy and trust, and they tell you how you can serve them, then you need to do the basics, which is follow up and follow through. I think that most business people fail because they don't follow up and follow through. And that's my basic sort of rinse and repeat formula. But the big problem that I think we all have is standing out from the crowd today in our over-connected, over-communicated world. How do you stand out to become the trusted advisor of your prospects and customers, so when they make a buying decision, they not only pick up the phone and they call you, but they drag their friends with them? How do you do that today? I have the 5 F's of life.
Go.
No, I have the 5 E's.
Oh.
You got to educate, enchant, engage, embrace, and empower your customer. What that means is give your knowledge away. You both have forgotten more about selling than most of the people listening will ever know in their lives. You give your knowledge away on a daily basis. Do people still hire you?
Oh, God, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They hire you because you're the expert. They can't operate on themselves. And I have a simple story that's going to tell you how I practice the 5 E's myself. And you can apply this directly today and basically help build your brand and your network, because I think your network is your net worth. Your personal brand, your professional network will help you achieve your passion, plan, and purpose in life, which I hope is number one, serving others. So here it goes. I share content that is inspirational and educational in and around the areas of promise of my products and services. That includes social, sales, and marketing as topics. I identify thought leaders whose content inspires me, like Diana, and I share that content and hashtag it appropriately, pound sales, pound marketing, and attribute her name or their name. And then that's like dripping digital lures into the social river. And so what happens is people are swimming by and they bite on that because they want to be better, smarter, faster at social, sales, and marketing. And not only people in general, but Diana's audience and herself engage with me. And what you need to do then is listen and connect and engage. And I was doing that, and somebody basically started talking about me on Twitter to Tiffany Bova, who is the one of the analysts at Salesforce that basically tells the market what Salesforce is all about. Before that, she was the Gartner CRM analyst.
Right, right.
He said, CRM isn't about command and control. It's about empowering customer-facing business team members. And some guy said, bullshit, it is about command and control. When are sales managers going to loosen their grip? And this is what Jon Ferrara has been teaching and building for 30 years with Goldmine and Nimble. And Nimble listens to signals, enriches the people talking with people and company data, surfaces one that matches the fingerprint that I would want to connect with. And so I was able to then connect with him when Nimble told me he's the head of CRM and data at Disney. Nimble then gave me his email and his phone number. Because of the way he talked about me, I was able to email him because he gave me permission by the way he personally talked about me. And the conversation shifted from Twitter to email to a LinkedIn invite to a LinkedIn messaging to a calendar appointment to a face-to-face, because I think you need to take digital relationships into human face-to-face, where I listened to him talk for half an hour and we became fast friends and Disney became a customer. And all that happened because I was practicing the 5 E's, which is dripping knowledge, listening, engaging, and preparing before the meeting, and being able to shift between all these places of conversation to reel that into a measurable business outcome.
Boom. And that's how you do it, folks.
That's how I do it.
So let's do it. Let's do a day in the life of an account executive who's looking to take their business, their income from 5 to 6 figures in sales. That's definitely our peeps. So if you were going to just start with a few practices, how would you I'd love if you'd repeat the 5 E's because I didn't catch them all, but
sure.
What are some of the activities that they can put into place that allow them to practice your 5 E's?
So it starts when you get up in the morning and you're having your cup of coffee. I think that we all do what we do because we're passionate about it, right? You dig
coffee.
Yeah, of course. I actually dream of my first cup of coffee. I don't know. It's like the best thing in the world. Yeah. But when I'm drinking my coffee, I don't just sit still. I'm consuming information. I may be browsing on the web, learning more about my areas of passion and sales and marketing and startups. And when I find content that inspires me, I share it. I basically buffer it right there. And I share it, hashtagging it appropriately, pound marketing, pound sales, attributing their name. And what that does is I'm queuing up content for the day that'll essentially let people know that I am a passionate person in and around these areas. And I don't just share my business persona, because my business persona is like walking into my lobby. That's not who Jon Ferrara is. Jon Ferrara's got a personal persona as well. So I share my passion about astronomy and backpacking and family and barbecue and cooking and life. And what happens is that people then connect with me. And so the 5 E's are educate with enchanting content with the intent to empower other people that you then embrace and help grow. And so educate, enchant, embrace, empower. Educate, enchant, embrace, empower your audience. And so anybody listening today should be building a basic persona with a great photo of your face that shows your eyes, which is the gateway to your heart and your soul, which you should be sharing with others, your heart and your soul, not just the business stuff. And then when you share content on those places, I use Buffer to do that. You could use Hootsuite or anything else. Make sure you hashtag it appropriately. And then at the end of the day, maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, do some listening, or during a break at lunch, do some listening, and then connect with those people. But the biggest problem with listening is you can't just respond to people. You need to understand who that person is and what their business is about, which means you do a little work, and then respond with them in a relevant and authentic way, with not a message about how great you are, your products are, but
hit
how
them with
to
a
help them
pitch.
grow.
Yeah, don't just bam with a pitch. No.
Oh God, have you ever done that where you connect on LinkedIn, all of a sudden you get a pitch?
Oh my God, every single day. Daily. And then whoop, delete.
I actually send them. I send them back a message and I disconnect with them. It's like I don't have time for that. It's just they need to learn that it's wrong.
So Diana and I, we take the SellOut Show live. It's so much fun to get both of us together on the stage. Like you just have no idea. It's like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler plus. But we at the AASP Digital Sales World, we talked about how personality is your competitive advantage and how that can be a competitive advantage. You are not a robot. Your customers are not robots. Nobody wants to talk or do business with a robot. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why I talk about when I'm training on sales skills, these are life skills, and bringing your personality to your profiles in business is okay. It's more than okay, because this is probably, I say this so much. People want a preview of what it's like to work with you. They want a preview of what it's like to have a conversation with you. They want a preview of what it's like to be in a meeting or go down the road or be a customer of yours. Social engagements and your conversation, your follow-up cadence, all that is just a giant preview of what it's like to work with you. Yeah. We have so many choices now for everything. I don't care what you think you're selling and how unique it is. Trust me, people have choices. That you showing up with what it's like to work with you and how easy it is, or how compatible you are, or how funny and fun and friendly, man, that just, it collapses that buying process if people can get a glimpse of what it's like to work with you.
Yep. And I think that the big failure, so there are salespeople that are great personalities and you love them, right?
Sure.
But they don't do the basics. They tell you they're going to do something and they don't do it. You send them an email and they don't respond, or if they do respond, they don't really include the context of all the other conversations you've already had with them, because they don't review the history and they don't take notes and they don't schedule the next task. And I think we're all human and we all are bad at doing the basics, right? And I think we don't do the basics because we have to work for our CRM and we have to go to our CRM to use it. So here's what I mean. Our CRM doesn't automatically populate information on people and companies and automatically log in every interaction that you and the team have ever had on email, calendar, and social, and then work with you in your inbox, in your social, or in any business app. And that's why we don't go and log those notes and schedule those next tasks, or even go and Google people and go update records, because it's too much friggin' work, right?
It really is.
So, but you as a business person, and not just salespeople, because it's not just salespeople that connect with other business people to try to achieve business purpose. I think another big cause of failure of CRM is it's given to salespeople for prospects and customers. I think everybody in the company should be living in a common relationship system of record and have one common view of the customer. And so if you're listening to this today, when you're opening up an email, there's typically a task that you need to do as a result of the email, and you have to go to your CRM to log the information and then go schedule the thing. You should find a plugin that goes into your inbox that somehow helps you do those things. And if it needs to work with your CRM, you can connect to a CRM. But I think, again, it's the basics that wins games. Being prepared before you ever go to a meeting, having the ability to listen because you're already prepared, and then the follow-up and the follow-through is so critical. What do you think?
Well, you know what I love about, there are two things I love about what you're saying, John. Just totally cut Sean off because I know she wanted to say something too. Well, the first one is that, we live in this world that it's all, the true mad passion these days is scale. And I think that the misperception is you can scale automation. I think that's important. But I think the reason that people are not giving you the context of your conversations from before and missing those opportunities for follow through is because you can't scale relationships. So there's trying to scale the wrong thing. And that's what I love about what you said. And then the other thing I love about what you said, and I'll turn it over, Sean, it'll be fast, is you sell from a place of passion. And one thing that I have always aboard, and I will go head to head with anybody who authors this stuff, that you go after somebody's pain point. I think ultimately people do want to solve their problem, but I think that the inspiration and the passion and our true desire for joy is so much more valuable to go after in a sales relationship than to try to push on somebody's pain point. So don't push the splinter in, take the goddamn splinter out.
Oh, that's good. I call it poking the bruise. Like, you know, is that hurt? Is that hurt?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I love using sports metaphors for sales and selling and business and stuff, because I love sports. I love mostly playing sports. I don't love watching sports so much because I want to be playing them. but I'm also coach my daughter's team, my son's team, and then coach salespeople, and it's all the same. It's getting back to those basics, like what you're talking about. Whenever I had a problem, I had a great sales director, Tico Rovers, and whenever I would be stuck or have a slow quarter or something, he'd just be like, all right, let's go back to the foundation of what you're doing. You know, are you reaching out to the right people? And are you doing enough of it? Are you pre-qualifying them? Like, we would go back to the basics. Diane and I had a fun discussion on one of the last shows we just released about feedback. And it was really funny because most people fear feedback because they think, like, say for instance, if you're a basketball player, and your coach, he would never go, all of that, get rid of all that. You're all wrong. We got to get rid of all of that. He was like, no, let's adjust your shot. Let's do this. And let's go back to the basics and then correct it from there. And that's, that's what we need to do as salespeople. Whenever something's wrong, go back to the basics. Are we doing the right things, looking for the right customers, engaging them the right way? As our product position the correct? I mean, it's unfortunately what I see a lot of is most small mid-sized companies that I'm working with, they think, well, let's add another technology solution and that'll solve our problem. And it's usually a people problem, a people's behavior problem.
And I have another basic for every business person listening to this today. You're not going to work where you work in 1 to 5 years. The average is 3.
No, you're not.
And they're going to hire you based off your brand and your network. And what do you do for your golden Rolodex today? This is it. Your contacts in Gmail or Office 365 and LinkedIn. And you don't really take care of your brand and your network the way that you should. And I believe that we all need a personal CRM, that we all need a golden Rolodex, and that you should basically combine all your disparate contacts from all the places that they are and then bring them to work with you. I think bringing your tools and your network to work with you is the lesson of today. And you should bring your network into your company's CRM. Most business people today, or at least back in the day, they had their own copy of Goldmine and Act, and they basically kept it over here, and they basically worked in Salesforce over here. And they did it because you don't want to put all your contacts in the company database, but you do want to nurture those contacts and then get somebody close and put it in the CRM so you get paid commission on it. And so I think that if you're dependent on your company to build your brand and to do nurturing of your network, you're dead. So here's my other tip for you, is you should be nurturing your network every day like it's your garden. In fact, you should think about the community around yourself as a sustainable garden, where you basically put stuff out there to attract other things so that it becomes a self-sustaining thing that fulfills your dreams. And so to do that, you need to periodically reach out and touch somebody, right? And it's not a touch with how great you are or how great your products are. Stop talking about yourself and your products. Nobody cares. They care about themselves. So you should daily talk about how you can help other people become better, smarter, faster. And I have a simple rule for that. If you teach people to fish, they'll figure out your selfish impulse. Boom.
Oh, that was really good because it took me half a second.
And you can get creative about it. My favorite practice is, every single week, write 10 thank you notes, just randomly to people, that they just get a random thank you note in their mail box. There's still a postal worker that delivers mail to people's mailbox. And, but develop your own. I mean, steal mine for a little while if you want to, but those really creative ways to reach out to touch to somebody that just surprise. It's not that hard to get somebody's attention when you surprise and delight them with something that's all just about them, and you just put some thought into it.
Enchant. That was an E. Yep. Surprise, delight. You can enchant someone.
Enchant.
I like postcards. Like, they're really easy. Well, Jon, those are, I love, so one of the things that I think is so crystal clear about Jon Ferrara, when you know him for an instant, or you get to be Facebook friends with him and have the pleasure of that, is that you are passionate about life, your family, the selling community and a business community and our planet, nature, passionate about travel, all these things, because that's what you share. Food, like I'm going to come to your house.
On Instagram?
I do. Yes. Yeah.
Cool. And by the way, if you're listening, LinkedIn is not the only social network out there. A chair has at least 4 legs, 3 or 4 legs. And Facebook and Instagram are wonderful places to bring people home to. And if you're doing business right, it starts out with a soft connection in Twitter, a LinkedIn connection, email and calendar, face-to-face stuff, but then you bring them home. And Instagram and Facebook are like when you used to bring somebody to the pub or a ball game or to your house for dinner. It's a way for you to connect on the 5 F's of life: family, friend, food, fun, and fellowship. These are the softer things that help us all stay connected. And I think, Sean, what you were talking about is the fact that I share that kind of stuff daily. It isn't just about sales and startups and marketing. It's about life and humanity. Because in the end, I think that all we leave the planet with are moments that we've actually been truly connected and the vibrations we leave behind. What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm vibrating right now.
Jon, this is amazing. So we could go on for like a year, but I would love for you to share where Nimble is, what it's about, where you can get it, how to engage with Nimble. And then Sean will ask you a back of the envelope question that will have absolutely nothing to do with, well, actually we talked about all of life, so it'll have to do with something we talked about, but, and then we'll kick this out. But tell us a little bit about where you are with Nimble, what's coming, and where to get it.
I really believe that the operating system of your life are the contacts you're connecting to, the conversations you're having, the activities that you drive from those conversations. And that today, your operating system is probably Gmail or iCloud, personally. But on a business level, it's G Suite or Office 365. And I think that the problem with all of those platforms is that email and calendar aren't connected to the contact. And so you don't have context. And you don't have insights. Who are they and what is their business about? And so I set out to basically solve this. I basically came out of retirement. I sold Goldmine when I was 40. I spent 10 years raising 3 babies. And if you want to grow as a human being, try being a present father and husband for 10 years. It'll really do remarkable things for your soul. I think that my soul is both softened and polished because of that process. But as I started to use social media, I saw it's going to change the way we work, play, buy, and sell. And I couldn't find a decent relationship platform, so I built Nimble. Because as I said, I think we're here on the planet to help others grow, and this helps me to help millions of people do it at scale. There, I said it, scale. So where I'm at with Nimble today is we started out by pioneering social serum and social selling, but as I said earlier, social is going to go away, and it's just going to become selling and relationships. And so we evolved Nimble into the simple serum for Office 365 and G Suite. Microsoft has signed a resale agreement to resell Nimble globally. They are currently pushing us as the simple serum for Office to all of their resellers globally. We've signed up 30 of their top 40 distributors globally and now have access to 300,000 plus VARs, resellers, who are going to be going out there and selling Nimble with Office, but not just with Office, but also with Dynamics, because Nimble is a sales enablement, sales engagement tool for Dynamics. Today, you have to go out and buy Outreach.io, Inside View, LinkedIn Navigator, all these different tools for sales intelligence and email tracking, sales enablement. With Nimble, we'll do that if you have Salesforce or another CRM like Dynamics. And so we've evolved into the simple CRM for Office 365 and the gateway drug to Dynamics, effectively duplicating how we scaled Goldmine to $100 million by becoming Microsoft's #1 ISV, because we help sell SQL Server, Exchange Server, and NT Server, and we basically scaled by leveraging Microsoft after they ate Novell. Now that Microsoft has eaten G Suite, we're now riding the Office 365 wave into our future.
Wow.
Congratulations. You know, my husband is going to be so excited to hear that. I mean, he's a Microsoft through and through guy. So that's just so huge.
It is pretty exciting. You know, it's taken us literally 2 to 3 years to bring down that woolly mammoth. If you've ever done strategic selling to a large corporation like Microsoft, you understand how big it is and how many people there are. And to get mind share across the organization where they not only see you but love you and then push you and sign deals with you is friggin' hard. And we've done that hard work, which is a barrier to entry to anybody else trying to get here. But we are exclusively in their ISV program where they're reselling us. And that is going to be locked up for the next 6 months to a year. And by that time, we'll have signed up all those big distributors and VARs. And once those guys have a simple CRM in there, if they don't want to have to manage multiple SKUs. So I'm kind of excited.
It's so good. Did you get to meet Satya?
So Satya was the product manager for Outlook Customer Manager back in the Windows days.
Yeah.
And he has a strong passion for what we're building. I was just speaking to a senior executive that reports to him, and she said, rather than meeting Satya, I'm going to introduce you to Kevin Scott, who's the CTO. He recently came over from LinkedIn as a CTO. Now he's the CTO of everything Microsoft. And the way I see it is that Nimble gives Office what it's missing, Office 365, a team relationship manager like Goldmine. It gives Dynamics what it's missing, the stuff that salespeople want. Dynamics is a great reporting and plumbing tool, but it's not really good at sales and engagement and relationships. And we actually could give LinkedIn Navigator what it needs, because LinkedIn Navigator currently lives in LinkedIn and your inbox. Imagine if it lived everywhere you worked. And so we're going to talk to Microsoft about being even more strategic to them. Wink, wink.
Exciting.
But let's talk about what's in it for the audience, because that's really more sort of strategic business stuff. If you're listening to this today, go to nimble.com, sign up for Nimble. It'll plug into your world and unify your disparate contacts from all the places that they are, enrich them with people and company data, enable you to segment them out to small segments of people that matter, and outreach in a relevant, authentic, one-to-one way that will drive connections and conversations and help you achieve your goal in life. It's free for 2 weeks. And if you're listening to this podcast today, I'm going to give you a special code, JON40. You're going to get 40% off the first 3 months. There's no excuse not to use Nimble. It's less than a burger costs you for your monthly cost, and it will help you connect at scale to people that matter and stay top of mind and help you achieve your dreams.
A man with passion. John, that is awesome. So JON40 was the code, in case y'all missed that. So we've got to wrap up, but I have a last question. Now, normally it's the back of an envelope, but today it's the back of the Athleta catalog. But it's something
my wife loves that story. So my wife was a gymnast and a cheerleader. She studied kinesiology, and now she got her Hot 8 yoga teacher training certificate, and she goes to Hot 8 yoga probably like 5 times a week. So you and her would be simpatico, I think.
Simpatico, that's awesome. Awesome. Well, okay, so I have a question for you that I want you to answer. And this is, normally I ask like tacos or pizza or waffles or pancakes. Like it's meant to be a hard choice. And I know that this one's going to be a hard choice for you because you can only give me one answer. Only one. You ready?
Yeah.
Tell us, where is the favorite place you have ever traveled to, and why should people go there?
Kauai. Kauai is an ancient island in the Hawaiian island chain, and you really feel like you're back in the original days, especially if you go to the Nepali coast. There's trails there that you could hike on that essentially make you feel like you're in Jurassic Park or where they filmed King Kong, which they've actually filmed them both. But there's a specific place in Kauai on the south side near the Grand Hyatt. It's the Grand Canyon of the Hawaiian Islands. And if you go up to the top of that, there's a rainforest trail that you could hike on. And I was hiking there with my family, and it was raining, and they wanted to go back to the car. I said, no, let's just go to the top of this hill. And we went to the top of the hill, and the clouds opened up, and there was a rainbow over the valley. If you go to my Facebook or my LinkedIn, it's the cover page that I have there. But we looked down into this valley, and it was the Nepali coast with a rainbow there. And it was just, to be able to view it from the ocean side on a boat, from hiking, or from over the Grand Canyon view, it's all spectacular.
Awesome. I'm going to put that on our list. Diana and I'll put that. I think there's some surfing in Hawaii too, Diana. Diana and I are going to learn to surf in Costa Rica in January, so we're super excited about that.
So there's a beach, San Antonio, that has perfect waves and lessons there, and there's a really cute hotel. If you want any tips on Costa Rica, I am your man.
Awesome. Okay. We will follow up with a conversation about that, because there'll definitely be some funny moments to be had following us on that journey.
Cool.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jon. To know you is to really understand what you're passionate about, and that is awesome. We definitely need more people in business who are passionate about connecting people, building relationships, and doing it in such a meaningful way. So thank you very much.
Sean and Diana, this has really been great for me. I am charged for the rest of the day. Those that are listening, please reach out and connect with me. Let me know how I might be able to blow a little wind in your sails. It's easy to find me. Just Google me, Jon Ferrara. I end up on the top page with all my different identities. You should be doing the same with your own identities. Make sure you're working towards that. And thanks again.
Yeah. Thank you, Jon.
Bye-bye.
Right. Okay.
Oh my God, I love that Jon Ferrara, CEO of Nimble, came and joined us today. He's actually a pretty big deal.
Yes. Jon, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all got so much good stuff about getting back to basics in this episode. So we're going to wrap it up and leave you with
stop hoping
and start selling.
That's right. Okay. Bye, everybody.